YouTube? It's your girl Liz from Love, Light, and Peace, and you're probably wondering who this handsome fellow is to the left of me. This is my eldest son, Nathaniel. He is just finishing up his 6th grade year. He agreed to come on to camera to kind of help explain what it's like to be in middle school, the transition, making friends, I don't know, sports, you know, just what's new for a middle schooler. You'll have to forgive my appearance because I just got out of the shower. He just got out of school and he's itching to go play. So I'm not going to keep him too long. I will be behind the camera asking some of the questions, partly because I'm irrelevant in this conversation. He's the star.
Me.
Right?
Yep.
All right. So, Nathaniel, this was your first year of middle school. What did you think of it?
In the beginning of the year, it was really fun because we didn't know any of the teachers, and we got to see friends that went to different schools from us, and we got to engage with them again. And during the middle of the year, so the first term is about reviewing all of 5th grade, what we did in 5th grade and all of that. And then the second term is new stuff and what we're gonna learn about and stuff like that. And then the third term is review about the new stuff that we learned. And then the fourth term is just all how do you say it? Even more new stuff that we're gonna learn about in 7th grade.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this question. Coming from elementary school, what would you say is the biggest difference between elementary school and middle school?
Elementary school is way easier than middle school than I thought it was gonna be. Elementary school was getting you ready for middle school in 5th grade. It was they were treating you as babies, and when you get to middle school they just let you go. So
right.
It was like a sea turtle. The moms just keep it there, and then once you get to middle school they let you free and the moms leave.
Well, your mom's right behind the camera. I'm never too far away. I promise you that. But yes, I could agree with that. That makes perfect sense to me. So you're saying that there's probably more independence in 6th grade than you were expecting?
Definitely.
Okay. Now, what about your teachers? You have multiple teachers this year. I know that when you were in elementary school, you had multiple teachers, but you pretty much had one homeroom teacher. Is that right?
Yeah.
So with middle school, having multiple teachers, is it nice being able to have a teacher that specifically teaches science, specifically teaches social studies, math? Do you find that it's a little bit easier to learn that way, or is it more difficult? What do you think?
It's way easier because when you're in kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and 4th, and 5th grade, there's one teacher that just crumbles up a bunch of subjects and puts them into herself. And when you get to middle school, there's one teacher that learns this, the other one learns that, this, that, and it's just way easier. And also when you are in middle school, instead of just sitting in one seat for the whole time, after every 45 minutes you actually get to walk around.
That's
so,
awesome.
Instead of just sitting in one seat for 2 hours, you get to walk around. And even when we have these tests, Smarter Balance is I know that's a really long test, but when you're in middle school, you have Smarter Balance in every single class. So 45 minutes you go to math, then 45 minutes you go to lit English, and then you just keep on moving for the whole day until you get to lunch.
That does sound more intense, but it also sounds like you enjoy it, that you're able to kind of move from one location to another and you're not stuck or stationary to one classroom. So that's pretty interesting. Now, what about making friends in middle school?
It's easier than making friends in elementary school because you're in one classroom when there's only a certain amount of people, there's only 23 people. When you get to middle school, you have different classes, so there's more people that you can make friends with. There's 23 people in each of your classes.
Wow.
So there's 80 people in all your classes combined. 60 is 60 people. No.
Right, that makes sense. You have more options then, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So one topic that you recently covered in one of your classes, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was in English. Am I right?
Yep.
With Mr. Millis.
Mhm.
What was the topic that you covered?
Bullying.
Ooh, bullying. That's a hot topic, would you agree?
Yeah.
Especially maybe in middle school?
Oh, really hot topic.
So what was, if you can point out a few highlights of what you were able to uncover during this project that you were assigned?
I learned from on my project is that way too many kids get bullied in 1 year. Over 63 million kids get bullied in 1 year, and that's like, there's a lot of people on this earth, but that's way too many for in a year.
Have you ever experienced bullying?
No.
No? Well, lucky
Not really.
you. Have you seen it?
Yes.
You've seen it. Now, what would you suggest, or first off, let's backtrack a little bit. When you saw bullying take place, what did you do?
I just ran to get a teacher. If it was like getting like physical, I would actually step in and say, "Hey, leave the kid alone," and stuff like that. But if it was just verbal bullying would be like name calling, stuff like that. Like name calling and like not throwing punches or anything, just like calling somebody like a wimp or something like that. But if it was physical, I would actually step in and like try to help the other kid that's getting bullied.
Well, good. Your mom taught you well. Okay, so that's interesting. Now, what about cyberbullying? What do you know about cyberbullying? You may not know too much about it, right? You just got an iPhone this year for your 12th birthday. But explain to me your perspective of cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying, I think, isn't the worst one, but is a really bad one. Cyberbullying is when you have a phone or like a computer and you find this random person, or it can even be your friend. Well, not your friend, but it could be this person that you find on the internet that goes to your school that does like that you've seen them before. You can just like harass them by just like spamming them, like on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, on any of those. You can like, or even messages. You could harass them by spamming them, saying hi, 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 hey, 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 and just like calling them and like calling them really mean names and stuff like that, and saying like blackmailing them, like threatening them. That's another way of cyberbullying.
For our viewers, what tips or strategies for coping with bullying would you give a child going through something like that?
I'd say if you're getting verbal bullied, you should run to a teacher or the principal of your school right away. Or if you're getting verbal bullied, you should like definitely run to your teacher, because they could do a lot. They could stop the bully and like help you a lot. If you're getting cyberbullied, you can still tell the teacher, but you'd be better off telling your mom or your dad or your stepdad or someone that lives with you or your guardian, because they could like find out who's like texting you and stuff, and they could call the cops on them. You can get arrested for cyberbullying. It's really bad. So you should definitely tell your mom, your dad, or your guardian what's happening if you're getting bullied.
I love that, Nathaniel. That's great. And you're right. Speak up, right? Because you shouldn't have to suffer through something like that alone. You do have good people in your life. And if you have a hard time finding someone who you can speak to, then an authority, like you said, a teacher, someone that you can reach out to is important to be able to speak up. I like that. Thank you, Nate. Next topic. Would you say, and this might be very uncomfortable, but you've learned some new topics this year in 6th grade, am I right?
Yeah.
One of which is your overall physical health and well-being. I could see the laugh now. It's an uncomfortable topic to discuss because it's already making you squirm in your seat. So I promise I won't probe too far. But puberty. The word, right? Even the word is awkward. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Tell me what you know about puberty. I won't even ask. Just tell me what you know about puberty.
I know when you're going through puberty, there's different parts in your body that start to grow, and you grow hair in those parts.
Okay.
And you're just starting to become an actual man or woman.
Right.
So also when you're going through puberty, I'm gonna go back to bullying for a second.
Okay.
You start to grow pimples, and people do bully you for having those. That's another way of bullying. That'd be verbal bullying. But when you do grow pimples, that's just acne. But when it's not acne, when you only have 3 or 4 of them on your hairline, or on the side of your head.
It sounds like you're speaking from experience. Am I right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. To your point, I would agree with you, Nathaniel. A few pimples are completely normal. Hair in places you didn't have before, including your legs, right? Armpits, face even in some cases, depending on how deep you are into puberty. Some acne is completely normal. Would you say that can impact your confidence?
No.
No?
No.
So you're just really confident then?
Yeah.
Good. Honestly, that's a good thing, right? What would you say for somebody who might be struggling with confidence during this really weird time?
I'd say just if you're confused, just ask your dad. Don't ask your mom because that's just weird. But ask your dad what's happening to yourself, or ask your dad to take you to the doctors if you feel weird and it's not if you think it's not normal.
And yes, you can ask your mom too, especially if you're a girl. Maybe
Yeah,
you're right though. Speak to someone who you can relate to, a parent. A lot of these things are easy fixes, right? Like we can get you some sort of face wash, making sure you wash your face before bed, after sports, just overall personal hygiene, right? Because that changes from the time that you're a little bit younger to when you go through puberty. All right, so last but not least, girls.
Nope, not for me.
Would you say it's normal for kids your age to start noticing the other gender or same gender in some instances, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. You have a friend.
That's
so you
right.
have friends that are girls and guys.
Mhm. Yeah, I actually have a friend that's gay, but he doesn't look different than any way. He's a normal human being. It's just he likes the same gender. It's nothing bad at all.
Nathaniel, I applaud you. It's nice that you have this open-minded perspective at your age because, again, the age that you're at, it can be very confusing. You're figuring things out. You could struggle with confidence, with bullying, with, figuring out what you like, what you don't like, including girls or guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And bullying can come from being gay, would you say?
Yeah.
And this friend of yours that has openly admitted this to you obviously feels pretty good about telling you this.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you're there to support, is it him or her?
It's a boy.
Yeah, so him. Would you say that you're able to support him?
Definitely.
Right. Without a question, right?
Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with him being gay. He's a normal human being.
Absolutely.
It's just he likes the same gender.
Right. Now, what about girls? Let's talk a little bit about that, Nate. And honestly, it's, think about kids going through what you're going through. Have you noticed girls yet?
No, not really.
Not really?
No.
I'll divert. I'm going to say real quick. Hang on, I'll come on camera. I'm going to say real quick that as his mom, he has noticed girls. I've seen the girls also notice him. And that's okay. That's part of growing up, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that some of the girls that you have noticed you also? And how does that make you feel?
I don't really know because
It's a confusing time.
yeah.
That's okay. That's all right. Do you have any advice to anyone that feels as though that maybe they are noticing someone, but that person isn't noticing them? Or like, for instance, if you have a crush, but yet your crush doesn't necessarily reciprocate those same feelings, so you get kind of beat up on yourself. Any advice for those struggling in the love department?
I'd say just talk to the girl that you have a crush on and try to like get closer together before you like, and she'll probably have a crush on you.
But at this age, it's really just like school is where you get to see anyone that you might be interested in. It's not too serious, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, Nathaniel.
No problem.
Any last pointers for these up-and-coming 5th graders who will be entering the 6th grade this year?
No, not really. But
I'm sure you've got something. I mean, think about it. What would you have wanted someone to tell you before you started 6th grade that you had to find out on your own this year?
you have way more teachers that are nice, but some of them are I wouldn't say mean, but are hard on you. They give you way more tests than usual. They have like if you're in 5th grade about to go to 6th grade, you only have like one. In 5th grade you only had like one test every 2 months. 6th grade you have one time I had a test in every single class, including gym class.
Oh my goodness.
And that was in like the middle of the year. So you don't have to worry about that for a little while until the middle of the year.
So what study habits have you learned over the 6th grade year that you wish you could improve upon going into your 7th grade year?
I'd say if you're in if I have a final exam coming up for 2 classes, and one of them in science, and I'm trying my hardest to get honor roll in that class, so I stayed up until like 12 in the morning last night working on this extra credit for a game board, and I think me and Mom both did really good on it.
You think we aced it?
Yeah.
What was the topic for science?
The topic that I'm learning about and that I'm gonna get an A in is ecosystems.
Awesome. Yes, ecosystems. And I had to refresh my memory of ecosystems because it's been a while for your old mom. Well, that's great, Nathaniel. I think we touched upon quite a bit. Please, interested in finding out more, this is my eldest son, Nathaniel Perez. I asked him, he said he was okay with coming on camera and being his guardian, mother, and owner. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I okayed it because I feel as though it's important for both parents and children to be able to connect and understand and see different perspectives. And as you can see, I'm pretty proud of him. He has some great perspective for being young and new at this whole life gig. So I appreciate you taking the time to come on camera. So what are you going to tell the viewers? Comment, questions if they have questions, right?
If you want to see me back on this, comment and say, "Give me back Nathaniel."
He's trying to create his own channel. Yeah, absolutely. If you have questions, please comment, give us your feedback. I'm sure that there's many topics that we didn't even touch upon. Nathaniel is one of 4 children of mine. He's my eldest, like I said. He's got 3 little brothers. But I figured with him, he has some good experience being 12 years old and just wrapping up his 6th grade year, that I figured he could share his perspective with you all. So thanks for tuning in. Comment, like, subscribe if you're interested. And Nathaniel,
Bye.
love, light, and peace.
See you soon.